My name is Nadia. I am a woman. I am 36 years old. I have brown hair and green eyes. Some people say I look pretty. I work as a lecturer. I teach sociology at a large university. I enjoy my job very much. My students are young and full of ideas. My life is usually calm. I go to work every day. After work, I return home. I often read books. I have a few friends. I am not in a relationship. I live alone. Sometimes I feel a bit lonely. This semester, a new student joined my sociology class. His name is Sasha. He is very young. He is only 20 years old. He has black hair and a warm smile. He always chooses a seat near the front of the classroom. Sasha is a clever student. He understands the subjects well and asks thoughtful questions. But sometimes I notice him watching me. He looks at me while I am teaching. He looks at me when I am writing notes. On the board, his look feels different. It is not like the way the other students look. It is a look that I cannot ignore. After class, Sasha often stayed behind. While other students left quickly, he remained. He always had something to say. Sometimes it was about the lesson. Sometimes it felt a little more personal. He would look at me and smile. "Professor Nadia," he said one afternoon, "your lecture today was really good. You make everything easy to understand." His eyes looked kind when he said this. Another time he whispered, "You look very nice today, Professor. That color suits you." I felt my cheeks grow warm. His words surprised me. He was my student. He was only 20 years old. Inside my mind, I warned myself, "Nadia, be careful." This was not right. He was too young for me, and I was his professor. The rules were clear. It was wrong to have conversations like this. When Sasha tried to talk about things not related to sociology, I tried to stop him. "Sasha," I said in a firm voice, "let's stay with the subject. Do you have a question about the lesson?" "We should focus on sociology," I told him. I wanted to stay professional. I needed to draw a clear line. I said, "My personal life is mine, Sasha, and yours is yours." I told him our talks should only be about university and lessons. But his words made me feel strange. I tried to push away the unusual feeling, but it was not easy. A small part of me felt a quiet happiness when he said kind things. No one had noticed me like that for a long time. It felt good to be noticed, but deep inside, I knew it was not right. I reminded myself that he was my student, and that was the most important truth. I had to be careful. I had to be strong. I repeated this to myself every time Sasha stayed after class. When he tried to talk to me, I kept the conversation about sociology. I would say things like, "Do you have a question about the lesson, Sasha?" I did not want to talk about anything else. I did not want any problems at the university. My job as a lecturer meant everything to me. It was my life. But Sasha kept looking at me in that special way. He kept smiling at me after class. Sometimes he said kind things, but I tried not to listen. I pushed the feelings away. I focused on my lectures and my research. Week after week went by quickly. The semester was almost over. I felt exhausted. Teaching is never easy, but this semester seemed heavier than the others. I needed a break from everything. I needed to step away from the university, from the city, and from the confusing feelings that sometimes filled my mind. I longed for a quiet place where I could breathe, where I could feel like myself again. I wanted to leave work behind for a while. I wanted to rest, to relax, to breathe freely again. I searched online for a vacation. I found a beautiful island far away from my home. The pictures showed golden beaches, blue water, and endless sunshine. It looked like the perfect escape for someone as tired as me. I decided to go there. I imagined myself sitting on the sand with the sun on my face, reading novels, listening to the waves, and swimming in the warm sea. No thoughts about lectures. No thoughts about university. No thoughts about students. No thoughts about responsibilities. I packed my suitcase slowly, carefully. Each item I placed inside felt like a step away from my heavy life. I needed this break. I needed the light and the peace more than anything. I hoped this trip would wash away the stress. I hoped this trip bring me calm again. I packed my bag. I was ready to leave the city. I was ready to fly to the island. It felt like the perfect plan. A plan to rest, to forget, and to find some peace before life started again. I was already on the beautiful island for my holiday. I needed the quiet. That evening, I was sitting at a small beach bar. The air was warm and gentle. I held a cold drink in my hand. The sound of the waves was soft, and quiet music played in the background. I felt far away from my ordinary days at the university. For the first time in months, I was truly relaxed. Then suddenly, I heard a voice. Nadia, Professor Nadia. I turned in shock. I turned, surprised. It was Sasha, my student, smiling with a few friends beside him. I could hardly believe it. Sasha was here on this small island at the same time as me. It felt impossible. He walked toward me with his usual smile. "Hello, Professor Nadia," he said. "This is incredible. What are you doing here?" "Hello, Sasha," I answered. "I'm on holiday." He stopped near my table. His friends stood watching. "Wow," he said again. "Meeting you here is such a surprise." "Yes," I replied. "A very big surprise." Then he asked, "Professor, I mean Nadia, may I buy you a drink?" I thought for a moment. We weren't at the university now. We were far away on holiday. "All right, Sasha," I said at last. "Thank you. Just one drink." Sasha went to the bar. He soon returned with a drink for me. His friends moved to another table. He left us alone. We began to talk. One drink turned into two, then into three. did not speak about sociology, about work. We did not speak about the university rules. Instead, we spoke about our lives. We talked about our dreams and the things we loved most. Sasha told me funny stories, and I laughed. I hadn't laughed like this in a long time. For a moment, I felt like a different person. I was not Professor Nadia. I was simply Nadia. Sasha kept looking at me, his eyes warm and gentle. I felt truly happy. When the bar finally closed for the night, we decided to take a walk along the shore. The sand was cool under our feet. The sky above was a deep blue, and the moon shone large and silver over the water. As we walked, Sasha quietly reached for my hand. His hand felt warm and steady in mine. My heart began to race quickly in my chest. We stopped walking. He turned to face me. "Nadia," he said softly, "you seem so different here, away from the university. You're calmer, more free, and you are very beautiful." I felt shy, but at the same time, his words filled me with joy. He leaned closer to me slowly, and then he kissed me. My mind whispered, "No, this is not right. He is your student." But my body did not listen. I kissed him back. The kiss was long, full of fire. For a moment, it felt like the whole world had stopped around us. Afterward, we walked together from the beach to the hotel where Sasha was staying. We went up to his room. That night, we talked more. We kissed more. It was just one night on the island, but it was a night I knew I would never forget. Everything felt new, exciting, and alive. But deep inside, a quiet voice reminded me it was also wrong. He was only 20, and I was 36. He was my student. Yet on that island, for that one night, we were not professor and student. We were only Nadia and Sasha. The next morning, sunlight poured into the room. I woke up in Sasha's bed. My head was heavy. My heart was full of mixed feelings. A wave of guilt washed over me. What have I done? He is my student. This is wrong. But at the same time, I felt something else, something like happiness. The night had been beautiful. I had liked being with him. I had felt alive. Sasha woke up and smiled at me. "Good morning, Nadia," he said warmly. He looked happy, too. We shared breakfast together. At first, the air was quiet, heavy with unspoken thoughts. I knew I had to say something. "Sasha," I said carefully, "last night, when we're back at the university, it cannot happen again." My voice was nervous. He looked at me seriously. "I know," he said, "but I like you, Nadia. I like you a lot. Could we maybe see each other sometimes? Quietly, in secret?" Part of me wanted to say yes. My heart felt warm when he said he liked me. Maybe, I thought, maybe if we are careful, it could work. Maybe, I whispered, but we would have to be very, very careful. The holiday ended far too quickly. Soon we were back in the city, back at the university. But everything felt different. In class, Sasha didn't look at me. He kept his eyes down on his book the whole time. He didn't smile. He didn't try to catch my eye. After class, he didn't wait for me. Instead, he left the room quickly with his friends. He seemed like a different person now. He was the student again, and I was the professor. But his coldness cut deeply. I felt confused, even hurt. Why was he acting this way? That evening, I sent him a text. "Hi, Sasha. Are you okay? Can we talk?" He never replied. Days passed. He continued to ignore me. I was full of worry and sadness. What is happening? One afternoon, as I walked past the student cafe, I heard loud voices and laughter. Then I heard Sasha's voice among them. I stopped. One of his friends laughed and shouted, "So, Sasha, did you really do it with Professor Green Eyes on the island?" Sasha laughed too, a loud, proud laugh. "Yeah, man. Easy," Sasha's voice said, loud enough for me to hear. I won the bet. $1,000. She was all over me after a few drinks on the island. Told you I could get her. Now pay up. My body went cold. My blood turned to ice. A bet, a dare, money, all of it, the looks, the smiles, the words. The night on the island, it was nothing but a cruel game to him. A way to impress his friends, to win their laughter, to take their money. My heart felt like it shattered into 1,000 pieces. I went home with a broken heart. Nothing felt the same. I was angry at myself. I was stupid. So stupid. I allowed myself to be deceived. I allowed myself to be used. I felt guilty and ashamed. The wound will never heal. I remember his smile and his laugh. The night on the island comes back again. For me, it was a good feeling. It was a hope, a new life. For him, it was only a bet. Now I know the truth. I was guilty. I lied to myself. I fooled myself. It was never love.
Dear friend, your like and subscribe mean a lot to me. Please don't forget. Thanks a lot.